you can't always trust the numbers. This is an A/B test that we ran for a campaign, and as you can see, the win probability is quite high, actually very high. It's almost 100% because the click rate lift has been significant, right? There's been a 20% click rate lift. So you might look at this and think, well, this is great. We learned something. There's something we can learn from this campaign that will improve our metrics. Here's the problem. The body of these emails is exactly the same. There's not actually an A/B test going on here. The only A/B test that we're running is the subject line. As you can see, the subject lines are different here. So we accidentally assigned the click rate as a success metric. So the main thing that this illustrates is something called a false positive, right? So this shows you that an experiment was successful, even though it wasn't. I mean, here we can say with certainty that it wasn't because this is exactly the same body that people could have clicked on or not clicked on, right? So even though Klaviyo tells us it's statistically significant, there's always a chance that a test will show you statistically significant results without actually being statistically significant. And that's why I believe in resends and retests, right? That's why we test things over an entire month. And if we can see consistent results over an entire month, then we have a much higher degree of certainty than if we just do one test. If you think back how you felt when before I showed you a few minutes ago that there was no difference between the two variations in the body, which is what kind of drives the click rate. You probably felt a strong sense of confidence, right? Because you have all these green check marks here and here. You have the 98.7% win probability, statistically significant. There are a lot of things here that reinforce your conclusion that variation A won this test, when in reality, it didn't. At least not a click rate test, because we weren't testing click rate. And so in a situation where this happens to you, that's why you have to do retests, right? That's why if you test, let's say you were testing emojis here, it's not what we're doing, but if we were testing emojis versus non-emojis, we would want to do it at least, probably at least 6 times. We really want to take our time with it and make sure that we get results. Like if emails with emojis won the first test, or even the first 2 tests, we'd want to make sure that they won all the tests, or 5 out of 6 at least, and then do another analysis and see if that is also statistically significant, just to eliminate this risk of false positives. And these false positives happen a lot more than you might think. They're actually fairly common. So that's why I always encourage people to track A/B test results outside of Klaviyo. Put them in Google Sheet that has all your previous tests. You can validate these results against each other as well. You can run these tests across long periods of time. This is something that is a little bit hard to do within Klaviyo, but it is something that you absolutely have to do if you want to be able to actually use the data you get from your A/B tests. As you can see in this, I'd say it's not possible to work with just this tool, right? Because this sort of false positive stuff happens a lot. And the second thing is log the data separately in a way that you can interact with it and model it and do all the checks you need to be really sure that what you're doing is actually the best thing for your business. So yeah, I just saw this and I thought it would be a good reminder. Thanks for watching.